In my 18 years of being alive, I really did not know what it was like to have a life. I'm not even joking. About 3 months ago, I was having a conversation with my sister when I was in what some might refer to as being in a slump. And essentially, she suggested that I go visit my cousins in Kenya. I was scared because, I don't know, meeting people who I don't necessarily know is nerve wracking, which I think is normal. So, obviously, I was hesitant at first because I didn't really know them. But I ended up taking her up on it, and honestly, one of the highlights of my year. So, when it came to actually traveling, I think I was fine. I was okay for the most part, but then I was scared. I remember sitting on my bedroom floor, borderline tears, and I phoned my dad, who was away at the time, and I was like, "Dad, help? What do I do?" Look, I have traveled countless numbers of times before in my life. I don't even think I remember my first time on an airplane. But was I paying attention to the procedures? No. The thing is, the process is fairly straightforward, but my head just has this tendency to tell me that everything that could possibly go wrong will go wrong. Did it? No. But obviously I can't control, I couldn't tell my brain that everything would be fine because it was convincing me that I would get lost and somehow end up in Guatemala. How I would manage that, who knows? I don't necessarily think with logic, but after phoning my dad and watching like 10 YouTube videos on what the airport procedure was like, despite having gone through an airport and been on a plane multiple times, I think like I was prepared. I think I was just scared because I was alone, and being alone, as much as I love being alone, it terrifies me. But we got through procedures, everything went smoothly, and then I had to sit and wait for my plane for about an hour, and I was like, okay, I can do this. I love the fact that my flight was at 2 a.m. because that meant there was less people. So I was less scared about getting kidnapped or something, which again is an irrational thought. But you just, but yeah, airport was fine. I chilled. I just wish there was more to do. I ended up going to the bathroom I don't know what I was doing. Yeah. Airport was fine, got on the plane fine. Everything was chill. It was a little cramped, but it was fine. I sat next to this random guy. I don't know his name. Didn't really talk to him. And then guess what? My flight got delayed for like an hour, and I was like, "Oh, this is lovely." My first time traveling alone, and my flight's freaking delayed because of some fault with like the plane. And I was like, "What do you mean there's a fault with the plane? What am I supposed to what am I supposed to do with that information? This isn't going according to plan. This was not part of my debrief that I gave myself before walking into that airport." But eventually I fell asleep and I took a nap. And then by the time I was waking up, we were taking off. So I was like, love that. And then I saw the sunrise and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And I remember just feeling this wave. I don't know what it was, like a sense of accomplishment or something. It was a good feeling. I remember feeling content because I was like, look at you, Sanji, look at you go. You are traveling alone for the first time. I was so happy with myself. And by the time we arrived, I don't know, that airport kind of scared me. Like, I got in there, I got my bags, everything was fine. I was just I was scared because I didn't know, like, now I was in completely foreign territory. And then there was this really tiny man who scared me because I didn't realize that there was another security check when you got into, like, the country, like, before you were able to leave the airport. And this really tiny man was, like, hurrying me, and I was like, "Whoa." I got out of the airport eventually, and then I was kind of lost because there's, like, a crowd of people waiting to pick up their humans, and I was like, oh my gosh. But luckily I saw my niece, and then we went to their house, and I was like, okay. Being with family members who I didn't already have, like, an established relationship with for the first time was kind of one thing that I thought was so weird on my part was that I wasn't scared to just have a conversation with them. I found that I was able to just be myself in a sense, and I was sort of like breaking down my shell, or like the wall, or at least trying to. And I think it was easier because I didn't really know them, and I wasn't scared. I felt just really comfortable. And also the environment that they created. Like, shout out to my cousin and my niece. You guys are real ones. I feel like one of the things that I enjoyed the most was just being able to connect with people, you know? And obviously, I had the time of my life.
I can't bring no dishonor. Never still like Winona. Keep it cool like Corona. Yeah, good girl come from the nest. I take chance and take risks. You think that this is? Oh, 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 oh. Fed up sometimes. Oh, too blessed sometimes. Too blessed sometimes. Too blessed sometimes. Oh, too blessed sometimes. Blessed sometimes.
So, here we are. Returning home, I was a little bit sad because I was like, back to reality. I think being there, one of the most valuable takeaways from this was getting a sense of independence and sort of figuring out who I am alone. After that, like, it's been a catalyst. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was a shift in my energy, a shift in my perception of myself, but I'm sort of closer to figuring out who I am. It's weird because it's not like I even went there for like some sort of soul searching or anything. I guess it was an experience that I needed to have. Like, I learned a lot about myself. I need to do a lot more things that make me uncomfortable and sort of step out of my comfort zone. There's a lot of stuff that I think I still need to experience, but I think a lot of the times we just get so comfortable, but being comfortable doesn't necessarily mean that you're happy. You're just okay with things. And I think stepping out of my comfort zone and going out and doing something, even though it was extremely nerve-wracking for me, honestly, I am grateful. So shout out to my sister for convincing me to go. So that's my first YouTube video done. When the next one will be, I don't know. We'll figure that out. But thanks for listening if you stayed this long.